that I could easily forgive if the music in question was, any good. But Mike Brady's contributions range from forgettable to unforgettably bad, and are accompanied by the sort of synth and drum kit orchestrations you'd find on a cheap karaoke track.
Love, timeless and true. Whenever I need strength, I look to you. Tonight.
You replaced Poor Wandering One with that? We open on a generic seaside town celebrating Pirate Week, which is some sort of historical reenactment, touristy, festival thing. Taking in the sights are a bevy of swimsuit-clad gals and their mousy flunky Mabel, played by Kristy McNichol in standard I'm wearing glasses and frumpy clothes, so you'll be surprised when I turn out to be a hottie later mode. And chief among the sights they are taking in is that of the perpetually shirtless Christopher Atkins as the local swordplay demonstrator.
Ladies, anybody want to learn the art of swordsmanship from a master of cut and thrust? Lunge and parry, in and out.
What are you captain of? The innuendo squad?
Atkins takes a liking to Mabel because of plot and invites her and her friends for a ride on his boat, but the mean girls commandeer the vessel and leave Mabel stranded. So Mabel does what any person with absolutely no nautical experience would do. Rents a boat and heads out into the open sea after them. Of course, she gets into trouble, and look closely, because there's a subtle difference here between the long shots and the close-ups. Incredible, isn't it? It's almost as if McNichol was just sitting in the studio tank getting water thrown in her face. The highly localized storm blows Mabel overboard, and with no life vest or survival skills, she washes up on a convenient shore that wasn't there 2 minutes ago. And as she lies unconscious, the screen goes all fuzzy and we're thrust into the actual story through that most absurd of framing devices, the dream sequence. This part of the movie follows the same basic premise as Pirates of Penzance. Atkins plays Frederick, a young lad apprenticed by chance to the pirate king. Gah! Sweet Lucifer, Jareth thinks you're calling too much attention to your junk. But Frederick is now 21 years old, his apprenticeship is over, and he has vowed to dedicate himself to law and order and bring his former compatriots to justice.
I've been as low and vicious as I could. But something inside tells me there's more to life.
What are you, a Disney princess? Mark off sin number 2 for Atkins' terrible acting, which stands out even among the lousy performances of the rest of the cast. Frederick is also a bit restless, as he's been at sea his entire life and has never seen a woman apart from the ship's nurse and token lady pirate Ruth. The pirate codpiece, King, casts Frederick off on his own in a lifeboat, luckily within spyglass distance of a nearby cove and an entire chorus of genteel ladies. It's a Freudoscope, and as good an excuse as any to talk about sin number 3, the forced attempt at zany humor. Absurdity is a key element in Gilbert and Sullivan's works. It's part of what makes them so much fun. In Pirates of Penzance alone, we have pirates who aren't very good at pirating, a hero with a firm but very ill-thought-out code of honor, a major general whose education has covered everything except anything useful to his job, bumbling policemen, and the world's loudest stealth attack. This is obviously stuff that's not meant to be taken seriously. The pirate movie either doesn't understand the inherent humor of its source material, or more likely doesn't expect the audience to understand it. Instead of letting the absurdity of the whole premise speak for itself, it drowns it under a tide of broad slapstick, crass jokes, and constant winking through the fourth wall. Picture watching your favorite comedy while this guy is sitting next to you.
Aye, out of me, that's not, say no more.
That's what this movie feels like. The frolicking beauties are the daughters of Major General Stanley, and Mabel is the youngest among them. Like her modern counterpart, this Mabel is also an outcast, probably because she dresses like a reject from Xanadu. But Frederick takes a liking to her, and before long they're making easy listening music together.
You're all I've dreamed of.
I'm not sure if they're filming a love scene or the commercial for the soundtrack. Sessions presents Songs of the Pirate Movie, featuring that one song, that other song, and that really, really bad song. Like a lot of musical romantic leads, Mabel and Frederick go from, hey, you're kind of cute, to let's get married with astonishing speed. But there are obstacles. Custom dictates Mabel cannot marry until her older sisters do, and anyway an ex-pirate is hardly a suitable match for a major general's daughter, and anyway the rest of the pirates show up to rape and pillage and mostly chase the girls around like a bad Benny Hill sketch. Mabel steps up to defend her family from the Pirate King.
You see, the blade grows heavy. She cannot raise it to my heart.
I'm not aiming at your heart.
Well, you shouldn't make it such a prominent target then. The pirate batch, King, gets the better of Mabel, but fortunately she is rescued by the arrival of her modern Major General father and the famous modern Major General song, complete with thrown-in topical references.
I comprehend contemporary culture, North American. I straighten more piratical erections than Boderican.
If I may play Angel's advocate for a moment, it's true, this does date the movie in a big hurry. But it's also common practice. Go to your local summer stock production of Gilbert and Sullivan, and it's better than even odds that there will be one or two jokes about current or local events dropped into the script. Rewrites of the Major General's song in particular are so widespread that more people are probably familiar with the parodies than the actual lyrics. Even I've done one. I am the very model of a diva demoniacal. All right. Yeesh, everyone's a critic. So, all in all, it wouldn't be fair of me to single out this movie for doing something which scores of other productions have done before and since. But what's the fun of being a demon if I can't be evil for the hear of it every now and then? Bad rewrite of the Major General song, sin number 4. The Major General already has a beef with the pirates since they stole his family jewels. Not to be confused with the ones that the pirate area keeps flaunting. So Mabel strikes a bargain with her dad. If she and Frederick can recover the family fortune, the two of them can get married. This provides ample opportunity for the stars to walk around half-dressed.
I've never seen a woman like that before.
The body is an 8. The brain is a 10.
The dialogue is -12. Unfortunately, the Stanley treasure was lost at sea, and the only map to its location is tattooed on the Pirate King's back. So he's the only one who can never see it, I guess? So Mabel honey traps him into taking off his shirt so Frederick can copy the map, and one sexual farce later she makes her escape through kinky blindfold play.
Where are you? Be gentle, Mabel. Oh! Mabel, your goosebumps have grown.
He's being sexually assaulted. But he's the lucky one, as the rest of us have to sit through sin number 5, Pumpin' and Blowin'. This song is performed by Mabel while Frederick wanders around a giant fish tank looking for sunken treasure. It's not so much an insight into her feelings as an excuse for double entendre.
I huff and puff just to keep love going. I'm done, I've had enough of pumping and the blowing.
She said blowin'. That's not the problem with this song. This is the problem with this song.
Keep bumping,
Blowing,
keep bumping.
blowing.
What is... I can't even... You think we're sick and twisted mortals? Nuh-uh. I have seen the torments of hell, and they're nothing compared to this twisted shit you keep putting into your movies. What combination of drugs and sheer stupidity led to this moment? Who said, hey, you know what this pirate adventure comedy needs? Singing fish that turn into the Rolling Stones logo. Who approved that idea? Hundreds of people must have been involved in this movie. Did none of them say, this is crazy and also kind of nightmarish and maybe we shouldn't put it in here? At all? In fact, the entire buried treasure thing turns out to be a pointless detour. For after Frederick finds Nemo in the mouth of madness and recovers the treasure, we learn the pirates are hard on their heels and will launch an assault on the island at any moment. The Major General moves the goalposts on Frederick and says if he can thwart the attack, Mabel's hand is his. Unfortunately, before he can leave to rally the troops, he gets tangled up in another detour as he battles with the Pirate King. I think these last two scenes exist because the writers wanted to make sure all the pirate story cliches were covered. The fight is just a walkthrough of the standard swordplay tropes, cutting the candles, swinging on chandeliers, and another random pop culture reference just because.
Did I teach you that?
Nah, I saw the movie once.
You will burn eternally for that line. The fight is another waste of time as the Pirate King and Ruth aren't even there to kill Frederick. They've come to discuss the fine print in his apprenticeship contract.
Your date of birth?
February 29th, 1856.
A leap year.
I don't get it.
You were apprenticed to us.
Till my 21st year.
No. Until your 21st birthday. Leap years only happen every 4 years. Going by birthdays, you're still only 5 1/4.
Right. Let's pause for a moment to elaborate on this development and explain why the movie's handling of it is sin number 6. The leap year birthday paradox is a major turning point in the original Pirates of Penzance, and the reason why the operetta is subtitled The Slave of Duty.
Duty!
Hey, none of that! Anyway, Frederick's extreme adherence to his duty is the play's primary absurdity. Here is a man who switches his allegiance against all his morals, judgment, and inclination in order to honor a slight technicality in a contract that was formed well before he reached an age of discretion, and, I might add, was itself a mistake on the part of his nursemaid. It's a completely ridiculous situation, and like all ridiculous situations in fiction, it's funniest when the characters treat it as being dead serious.
No!
The pirate movie mishandles the whole concept and sucks all the humor from it. First, by throwing in a bunch of gags that have nothing to do with the issue at hand.
You're not gay, are you?
No, no.
I mean, the way you and that Pirate King get around in those rather feminine pleated shirts and all.
Then it goes completely to the other extreme and treats the situation like it really is serious. Like Frederick is doing a noble thing by putting his duty before his heart and common sense.
And that's the bottom line. To hold you, I have to let you go.
And just for good measure, it throws in not one, but 2 kill the momentum ballads for our leads.
How can I live without her? And she's all I'm living for.
With Frederick now batting for the other team, Mabel takes it upon herself to lead the forces of law and order, represented by a squad of Keystone Cops who do a reasonably good version of one of the few Gilbert and Sullivan songs remaining in the picture.